This podcast contains graphic descriptions that might not be suitable for all audiences. Content warnings are listed in the description. Warm, brackish, slightly salty water laps against a lone dock stretching out into a foggy morning. And we see the bold words, 3 days later, appear before a ferry emerges from that fog, heading straight towards the dock on its routine schedule. We can vaguely see people bustling about on that ferry. It's a 2-story one with some seats on the top and a large smokestack as it's glided in with expert hands that have done this 100 times. The front ramp of the ferry lowers down, a wagon exit, even a car drives off of it, heading off towards town, and some of us might even recognize the shoreline as Smith Island, the island where we had found our heroes last time before they acquisitioned a boat from the locals. And now we see a man stepping off of that ferry. Behind him, a horse being drawn along with bit and bridle. He walks with a slight limp as he walks down the ramp. And I think already, Andrew, would you please describe your character?
At first glance, Vernon Hodges isn't a very impressive man. Wiry, as Sky said, a slight limp in his stance. He's thin in the face, a white mustache hanging under his nose. When looking at him, he looks young, maybe only in his mid-50s or so. But that stark white hair and mustache make him look nearly 20 years older. He looks around Smith Island, not with a look of intensity or worry, but with silent resolve as he makes his way around, asking the locals if he would be able to charter a boat.
I think what we first see is you exit from that boat, and immediately some strange man eating an apple under a tree. Wiry, he's got fisherman overalls on and not a shirt underneath, and he's got unkempt hair. And he clocks you right away. And he just semi-shouts at you, "Can I help you?"
Good afternoon, sir. Lovely day we're having, right?
I suppose so, if you could call fog lovely. Kind of hiding all the lovely bits of the day, I'd say.
Yeah, but with the fog, you see more and more of the unseen.
What?
And there's plenty to be seen around here.
I'd reckon I see less because it's fog and it's in front of me. Say, you're real mysterious like. Hey, what you doing here? You're clearly not a local.
I've come here to procure a boat. You seem to be a man who can get me one.
He kind of raises an eyebrow after some trouble that happened a couple days past with some people, according to the locals, heisting a boat.
I'm willing to pay quite handsomely.
I got a boat. Where are you trying to go?
I believe the locals call it Hastover Island.
He immediately stands up. He spits on the ground in front of you. He goes, "And may your day be cursed and ruined. I'll see you never." And he walks off.
Well, have a fine day, sir. The local riffraff.
And I think what we see after that is a little montage of you talking to locals, and we could tell by your body stance that you're getting a little bit more desperate with each one, a little bit more harried as you're talking to them. And it's a mix of different reactions. Some people just turning away and shaking their heads. Some people seeming to try and explain to you why to not go there. And then others just outright getting in your face, angry, shouting at you. We see the one ship captain from a couple of days ago who is being held back by a couple people as another person is just like, "You need to get out of here right now. You need to leave." before you find yourselves at those same docks, farther down at the end, in a small little cove area. A few sheds lie closed with a couple of pots around them. We see a couple of docked skipjacks that are used for dredging oysters along reefs. And then we see a waterman boat lined there with, I believe, crab pots on it that is currently being unloaded. Similar to how the story went last time. Seth, would you please describe your character?
Yeah, sure. John Douglas is a lithe, unassuming man. Got a canvas shirt and jeans, and gaunt in the face with black streaks of hair.
Vernon, it's another waterman. It's another man with a boat.
Hi, good evening, sir. This wouldn't happen to be your vessel, would it?
Oh, hey, come to help me wash the pots?
Yeah, I'm happy to give a hand if you need one. I guess I'll start pulling up on a pot.
That's it.
Lovely vessel you have here.
Oh, yeah, the Dead Rise, yeah. Can't go
Dead
anywhere
Rise.
in the bay without it. Best crabbing vehicle.
Looks like she sailed many a journey.
Well, I mean, I got it from my pop.
Ah, long lived.
Nope, he died last February.
Oh, I meant the boat, but I'm very sorry to hear. My name's Vernon Hodges, and I stick out a hand.
Hey, how's it there, Vern?
And your name?
Folks call me John. I'm John Douglas.
Good to meet you, John. Tell me, John. I've been looking to procure a traveling vessel. And I've been met with, well, to be frank, less than stellar reception.
Yep, that'd be the ways.
Understandable. Tell me, John. I'm looking to make passage to Hastover Island.
Ooh, Chief. You've come to a fishing place, and you're talking to fishermen.
I need a little more context on that front.
What I'm saying is, it's not a passenger vehicle. The guys that work on my boat are there to work. They're not hitching a ride.
Well, I'm happy to work while passing through.
And the fishing ain't good around Hastover Island. And he spits on the ground. But not at Vernon's feet.
Okay, that's appreciated. I'm looking to pay handsomely.
Oh, boy. I do need the money. But I don't think it's worth the trouble.
Tell me, John. And I look around. Does he have any, ring on his hand, or...
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's a very tarnished brass ring.
Okay. I see you're married, John. Do you have children, perchance?
I do. That's why the money would pay handsomely. But, yeah, I can't do that. Too much of a risk.
I understand. I'm a father, too, you see. 4 children, 3 daughters, and a son. My son is in danger, John. And I know that he's on that island. I know the risks. I know not what lurks there, but how do I say? I know that I'm not looking to get a warm reception when I make it there. Would you do anything for your children, John? I know I would.
Buddy, you might be the luckiest son of a bitch. How much money are you working with?
This is $200.
Jesus Christ. You should have led with that.
We see now you guys strike this deal. Quick predator handshake.
Yeah.
Always.
But I imagine Vernon is the man to not let a job go unfinished, so helps you with the rest of the crab pots.
Undoubtedly.
Despite the urgency, there's still this kind of sense of honor to the work, honor to another father. A kinship is born here, and you finish.
It may be a friendship, a lifelong friendship. For
lifelong
however long
friendship.
those lives may be.
Maybe
About
love.
10 minutes.
We get matching tattoos.
Anywho, another tentacle comes up. We kill Seth's character again.
Why?
This time, we didn't plan it.
That's what you get for having a family.
We see Vernon load whatever he has, a single bag, potentially. I imagine that you left the horse in a barn, paid for a couple days to stable it, and are now getting onto this boat. We watch as John here backs it out of the harbor, and they head off into that deep fog. Now, it is early afternoon, I would say. You have been at this for hours. And as that boat disappears into that fog, and the camera is sort of focused on that, within the foreground is the dock, stretching out far into the harbor there, when we suddenly see, wham, into the dock. The camera focuses to a mangled seagull that has dropped out of the sky, gasping for its last breath before it dies right as that ship enters into the fog.
Bird killer.
Good.
boy.
Fucking rat with wings.
Leave my French fries alone, you
choking
bastard.
on a French fry.
It came from the land of brutality and evil. It came from terror and fear.
I hear you in a whisper, calling me through the reeds. The wind sweeps, the waves bury me. Blood and dirt, flesh and rain, it's mud all the same. Before rivers, before bones, old like the marshlands, old like the marshlands, old like the marshlands when they heard their name.
Sing, purple, train, that shall not be
Welcome back, everybody, to Blood on the Reeds, our Old Gods of Appalachia game. But not set in the Appalachia, set in the heartland of Maryland and northern Virginia in the Chesapeake Bay.
Okay. Not really land, per se.
There's some land.
Some land.
Introducing
Water.
Seth Coveyou.
Hi, I'm now going to play John Douglas. John Douglas is a hard-edged speaker who shares the ways and signs. If and y'all got words that needed contracting, I'd oblige.
And then we have Rachel Kordell.
Am I dead? I don't well, okay, I'm Laura Turner, and I am an awakened skeptic who cannot escape the darkness.
We're joined by Casey Reardon.
I'm playing Elmer Fink, a superstitious explorer who fears no haints. And do you know that you really ought not to whistle at night? Brings about all the devils and such.
Ooh. Andrew Frost.
My name is Vernon Hodges, and I am an honorable explorer who knows the unknowable.
And finally, our special guest, Nate Brass.
Well, howdy. I'm Chet, a curious swamp wizard who serves the green.
I love it.
Amazing.
So,
What
for
a doll.
those of you listening right now, every character has three things. They're three core tenets. Their type, their descriptor, and their foci. The type is sort of their class, the descriptor is kind of their approach, and the foci is the extra little bit of spice that makes them unique. So, when a character is made, it forms a sentence. So what you just heard there was basically the core tenets of each character broken down into a verb, a noun, and an adjective. Not necessarily in that order. Should we talk a little bit about what happened last time? Because, a couple things happened.
Please help.
Just a
we
few.
met.
Blah, 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 blah.
I'll be a little brief on this one, because really not a whole lot happened. We met with our heroes here, our lovely 5, who are working for the Old World Institute, or OWL, an institute that deals with oddities and craziness out in the Appalachia. But as a favor to a congressman, this team of 5 has been assembled to go search for the congressman's son, Marcus Long, in the marshlands of Maryland, specifically just south of Smith Island, and an island called Hastover Island. They tried to acquire a boat and were met with a lot of opposition before our protector, Howard Cygnus, forcibly acquired a boat and got them off of that island with a critical success. Upon arriving at Hastover Island, they met a man that called himself the Mayor, before that mayor summoned a colossal creature and potentially took the life of all 5. We saw Elmer and we saw Chet get swept away into the water. We saw Howard and Willie get brutalized. And finally, Laura have her neck slashed and dumped into the bay. And now, we pick up 3 days later. As the title card says, I think we're back with John and Vernon. John, you are piloting that boat deep through the fog there. And the only thing that we can faintly see is the occasional buoy go past, an old pole from a pound net that must have fallen apart years and years ago. As well as every once in a while, the fog will light up just slightly as the passing light of the Hastover lighthouse swings past, letting you know that these are slightly dangerous waters and are much shallower than they appear. It is daytime out, but it's hard to see through the fog. And I think the first thing that I want to know from you two is, are you guys talking at all? Or is it silence on the boat?
We're talking a little. Hey, Vern, you keep an eye out. The fog's dense, so you see something, you say something.
Yeah, doing my best to. I'm surprised you can drive this thing at all in this fog.
Well, I got my charts and my old trusty compass here, so... And I know basically by the buoys what kind of wake I should be making.
Well, I'm happy that I'm in good hands. Thank you, John.
It also helps that there's a lighthouse.
That too.
The boat underneath you suddenly lurches, completely to a stop.
Well, now there should be a sandbar here.
Yes, exactly. You studied those charts. And even though you don't go near this island, you know those charts. You studied them a lot. You pride yourself in that knowledge. Do you go and peer over the side of the boat to see what's going on?
Yep.
There's no sand underneath you. At this point, the bay is still... It's polluted, but it's still relatively clear. It's not quite as bad as it is nowadays. And then you see something move under that water. Something long and cylindrical, and you've seen eels before, especially fishing at night, where you would shine a spotlight in the water and they would come and be attracted to the light or to the bait that you put in the water. And this is far bigger than any eel you've seen under there. And as quickly as it was there, it dips back under. And then the boat rocks.
Sweet mercy. Vern, you got something that's a little harder than a harpoon.
I pull the sling from around my back and ready my shotgun.
Oh.
Oh, yep, that'd do.
Do you fire into the water?
Not yet. Right now I'm trying to focus on that shape.
You both remain still now, and you watch as it slowly moves back in place. It's pulsing, and there's strange growths along it, as if it's sick. You'd see portions where what might be scales or part of the skin are much lighter colors and have almost fallen away like a sick fish. Every once in a while, you'll catch one that is diseased. And then the boat starts to rise out of the water. Slowly at first. The entire boat, easily over 2 tons, maybe even 3 tons, rising effortlessly out of the water. And you can see now a mass of tendrils are lifting the boat slightly with a huge body directly underneath.
Okay, Vern, we got about 10 seconds. If you make it out of this, swim east. I'm going to jump over the side.
Incredible. I think right as that happens, you go swim east, jump out the side. The boat snaps in half.
Oh!
And we go once again black. A beautiful sandy shoreline. Dark sand, which is commonplace in the Chesapeake Bay, lined about maybe 20, 30 feet of sand, some pebbles, a lot of shells, clams, mussels, even a few larger species lying along this shoreline. And behind it, dark, peated shoreline that makes up the main embodiment of a marsh underneath those reeds. It's never solid ground, it's soft and spongy, and can often be stepped through into deep, dark waters. Phragmites, a species of reed that stretches about 9 feet tall, line that shoreline, completely blocking any view farther inland. John and Vernon, you find yourselves crawling up on shore. You've managed to make it away, but you are sopping wet and soaked as you drag yourselves up onto this beach.
Sorry about the boat.
Yeah.
I mean, at least I gave you enough money to get a new one. Oh.
I had wanted to give that to my children.
Well, better us than them.
It ain't over yet.
It never is. Here, let me give you a hand.
No. Let me sit for a bit. This is a wait.
John, you sit on the beach looking around, and you recognize immediately that you have made it to Hastover Island, specifically the large portion of marsh that makes up the western side, the western and northern portion of the island, basically, that curves up and around and makes up most of the landscape here, apart from Willow Grove, which is the local community, as well as on the western side, you have the lighthouse as well, that's separate from that community. Vernon, you, I imagine, are standing. You were a field agent with Owl for years, and that was a true monstrosity that you solved. I don't know what the rankings would be, but let's say if it was out of 5, that would easily be a 4 in terms of danger.
Takes more than a shotgun.
Yes. You look up and down the beach, and you see towards the other end, about 200 feet away from you, you see an overturned dinghy that must have been there for ages. Barnacles and mussels grow openly on it, waiting for higher tides to roll in. And you can't help but wonder if your eyes are playing tricks on you, but you swear you see a body draped over it.
I'll make my way closer.
We are somewhere else. It is dark, and the sound of not waves, but the gurgling noise when water hits the line of a marsh reeds. It is porous and full of holes, and it makes a gentle gurgling noise when the tides go out, and we hear that. It's gentle. And there's something else there a little plucking of strings, a little plucking of a fiddle, before that person's eyes snap awake and they are on that beach with Vernon standing over them looking down. Laura, you see a stranger standing over you, but he looks vaguely familiar. Is that Willie? No, Willie didn't have gray hair.
What? Hold on. Am I just waking up?
You are that body on that dinghy on the beach. Vernon has found you, and you have the largest scar across your neck that Vernon has ever seen. It looks like your head should have come clean off. And it is completely healed, other than a white scar that is impossible to hide.
Sure, okay. So she probably is groaning in pain, confusion. It's really difficult to say as she begins to lift her head to look up at you. Is there pain?
There is no pain. But there's a sound. And it's gone, but it's there, but it's not. This plucking noise. It's you can ignore it. And maybe it's just a headache. But there's no pain from your neck.
Maybe a soreness from being in this position for who knows how long, but
Might be a little hungry.
I am hungry actually, now that you mention it. Hello?
Miss, you're right.
I don't know. Where am I? What?
This is the, I believe, west side of Hastover Island.
What? And she rears back and pulls back from wherever she's hung over and flops down on the sand.
Easy.
Fingers on the sand, touching the sand. What? Where? What's going on?
All right, calm down. You're in no danger.
No, you don't know. There's something going on here. I don't. What? Who are you?
My dear, there's something going on everywhere. Sometimes you just don't see it. My name's Vernon. And you are?
Laura Turner.
Laura Turner. Well, Laura Turner, I'm happy that I have a familiar face here. To give you a proper introduction, my name is Vernon Hodges. I'm with Owl.
Hodges, Willie?
William's father, yes.
Oh my god. He's dead. He's dead. I watched his arms get.
Calm down. You're in shock.
I'm so sorry. He's gone. He's gone. I'm so sorry. They're all gone. I should be gone.
But you aren't.
Where is everyone? If I'm here, where is everyone? And my head whips around the beach looking for anyone else, another body or something.
You would just see John sitting farther down the beach, I think, right now. You don't recognize him. He's probably 100 feet away, but still, John doesn't really look like either of your other companions.
Does he look like a local?
What are you wearing again, John?
I said canvas shirt and jeans, but I think I'm gonna change jeans to overalls.
So a little bit like a local, yeah. But yeah. John is also sitting on the ground, staring out at the water.
Yeah, I think that's enough to elicit not a friendly reaction to him. Is he with you?
Yes, that would be John Douglas.
Is he from here?
He's from Smith Island.
Oh, okay. Look, we gotta get out of here. We gotta get off this island. This is mission's over as far as I'm concerned.
I believe the only way out of here is upon the dinghy you're laying on top of right now. Well, laying on top of 2 seconds ago. But I have a feeling that it won't be that easy.
Oh, okay, well, we have to figure something else out because we need to leave.
Yeah, and upon looking at that dinghy, you kind of could peer past Laura a little bit. It's mostly holes, I would say. Yeah, that thing's not going to be seaworthy whatsoever. John.
Yeah.
Question for you.
Sure.
Do you start making your way over? Or look over at them?
Sure, yeah.
Okay. Do you have perception of some kind, John? As a skill or anything related to it as an ability?
I have it amidst my current list right now. Mm-hmm. I have training in intellect defense tests. I have an inability involving knowledge or figuring out problems or puzzles.
Well, don't worry, there's no puzzle, and I don't think I'm going to make you roll for this.
Okay.
John, you are looking back towards them. I think it's the moment where Laura starts shouting a little bit more, gets a little more hysterical on the beach. You know, you can't help but look over, make sure that Vernon, who right now is your companion, you kind of are forced to be, and your eyes, as they snap over, can't help but look back at those reeds, those tall reeds that are swaying in the breeze. And you look, and your eyes feel like they're playing tricks on you because there's a couple bundles of those reeds that are not swaying in the wind and are just simply standing still. These bunches that are vaguely the shape of a man before they start moving towards you as if you were moving towards them. The way they move is impossible and fast. As they rip across the beach, these reed men are launching themselves at your two companions. Blackout.
Amazing grace.
Gospel music.
How sweet.
A little hand drum is playing.
The sound that saves.
Somebody is humming nearby.
Like me.
It's not the most upbeat music. It's a little bit soft and it's a little bit sour. As it's playing, Elmer and Chet, you both wake up at the same time. Your eyes snapping open to this music. You're hungry, a little bit tired. You feel beaten up. You feel like you were dragged through the water by a large tentacle and ripped, dozens of miles along a shoreline and now have woken up in a church. The classic emotion.
Been there, done that.
A decently sized church surrounds you. You are sit in a pew a couple rows back from the front. We'll say there's about 8 pews total, so 2, 2, 2, and 2. And you are in the third one. On the right-hand side, tall windows line the sides, depictions of religious figures, as well as a stained glass window in the back. The stained glass window, just a classic sun shining down over some green hills with a tree stretching out from the center of them. And several people are sat around you. Not too many, it's a very sparse amount of people. Maybe about 10 sit around you, and they're all clutching their hands and shaking slightly and bobbing in their seat. You hear one of them whisper nearby, It shall shine and show the way, and fear that which is unknown, fear that which is buried deep. Show us the way, show us the way. Things like that, over and over and over again. But you two are there, realize that you're awake next to each other.
Is anyone paying attention to us at all?
No one seems to be paying you two mind. Everyone here is in what it is 1922, and I would not describe their clothing as modern for 1922.
I think at first waking up, like Elmer kind of deep inhale, like he was just underwater, and coughs a little bit. And he looks over at what's going on, looks over quickly to Chet and seeing him next to him. And he says, all right, Chet, we're going to need to slowly make our way out of here, I think.
Do you know what? I remember getting pulled into
Chet?
the water. Yeah, we can talk about that later.
Yeah, later. Are we in the center of the pew that we have to kind of squeeze by people to get out? Or
the center of the pew. There's a person to your left, but not to your right.
Great.
So you probably don't need to.
Excuse me, could we just get past real quick?
No, Chet, other way.
That would be great if you could move.
Oh.
You two are stuck to the seat.
Oh God, we're paralyzed.
You can move your arms, you can move your legs, but your ass isn't going anywhere.
They paralyzed my ass. Elmer.
It is asleep. It is asleep as well. Pins and needles right now.
Oh, God damn it.
In your ass? That's horrible.
Elmer, I think we've been taken in by a cult and we're going to be sacrificed.
Now, hold on. It doesn't necessarily... They might just try and indoctrinate.
I don't know. They killed all our friends, I think. I'm very confused as to what happened, but it seems like they're all dead.
Fuck, you're right. Chet, if we get out of this, we need to have some talks about how to approach these missions in the future.
I would love that.
Chet craves nothing more than constructive criticism from his peers.
Does there seem to be anything actually holding us down here, or is it more of a, like, we are just stuck by some other kind of means?
By some other kind of means. Like, a force is... No matter how much you try and pull yourself up from the seat, you cannot move your butt from the pew. But it doesn't feel like anything heavy is on you or you're being tied down. It's the strangest feeling. There is a little tapping on a window nearby.
Glance over at it.
You see the tiniest little hand with a little paw tapping on the window before it is gone again. Both of you just saw that.
Did you see that?
I think so. What was it? You catch a good look?
I think we're being saved by raccoon gods. Can I pray to the green?
Absolutely, you can pray to the green. Do you want to just activate that ability? Is this an ability, or is this just you praying to the green?
This is not an ability. I would just like to pray to the green that me and my best friend Elmer will get out of this safely, preferably with our asses.
When you offer a prayer to the green is nature. It is all that it is green. It is life itself. It is the cycle of life itself. There are many aspects of the green that you can attach yourself onto. What is your connection to the green? It can be something specific, the white oak. It can be a more complex thing, the predator hunting its prey. What, in an abstract way or in a very solid way, is your connection that you reach to?
I think Chet is like reaching out to like the seasons and just kind of being like, it's not our time yet. We are not in our winter months. We are here. We need a little bit more time.
Okay, I love it. I'm gonna say that this is a challenge 5 roll, intellect, and I'm going to say, so you can spend intellect to add effort, which can ease it. I'm gonna say it's already gonna get eased by 1 because you have such a strong connection to the green. If it was anybody else praying, it would probably be a raw roll, but for you, it is just going to be eased by 1. So that is a challenge 4 now.
And because I have intellect edge, it would take 2 intellect to lower that again?
I believe so, yes.
Okay. So can I spend 4 to lower it twice?
No, because you only have an effort level of 1.
That makes sense.
Yes. Also, what's really nice is, so when you have multiple levels of effort, the first level of effort is 3 points, and then after that, it is reduced by 2. Since you have that edge, it would be 2 points of effort, and then for every subsequent level, 1 point of effort, or 1 point from your intellect pool. You can only do it once, though. You have an effort pool of 1. So reduce your intellect pool by 2. You ease that again. It is now a challenge 3. You need to roll above a 9.
Ooh. That's a 13.
That is a 13. You reach out to the various seasons, praying for a change, if you will, in what's happening right now. You feel that happen as both of you move your butts suddenly and get out of this pew. At that same moment, though, I'm going to need you both to make intellect defense rolls, challenge rating 5.
Can I use sense danger on this to avoid or reduce the difficulty?
What is sense? What is danger? What
it's
is
just something I'm trained in. I get it from being superstitious. It's just an extra skill that I'm trained in.
This is more of a mental attack on you. I would say you could have been prepared for this. So yeah, I'm going to say since this is sort of a surprise coming at you, yeah, you can ease it by 1.
Okay. And what is the difficulty again? Sorry.
The difficulty will be, I'm going to lower it slightly. Challenge 4. So now it is a challenge 3. So you need to roll above a 9. Chet needs to roll above a 12.
Okay. And I'm going to spend 3 intellect to lower that again to make it so that I need to roll above a 6.
Okay.
Question. If his ability to notice danger is helping him, my inability is noticing danger.
Yes, you are hindered.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Thank you for being honest about that. So your challenge now goes up to a 5, so roll above a 15.
Okay.
Jeez.
I'm gonna spend 2 intellect to lower that. Back down to a 4.
Oh man, grinded these pools down.
I will say I rolled a 19.
Ooh.
Incredible.
So I get a minor bonus from that, no?
Yes, you will get a minor bonus for that. I'll keep that in mind. All right, Chet.
Elmer, remember me. I rolled a 2.
Oh no.
Incredible.
It's not a 1.
Not a 1.
That's true. You take those.
The doors in the back of the church fly open as a tall, skinny, pale man. He's got a slight hunch to his back as if he had been in an accident years ago. And now that you get a real good look at one of these people's face, you see that it is slightly translucent, and you can see the blood and vessels running underneath his skin in the right light, especially when he passes in front of the windows, Behind him walks a younger man holding a censer. This taller man is bald. He's got a preacher's vestige, as you know, the frock or whatever it's called, the white square.
The collar.
The collar, thank you. He's got the collar on, and he's got a book tucked underneath his arm, and he makes his way to the front. As he strides past you, Elmer, you would have taken 1 point of intellect damage. But since you rolled that 19, I'm going to say you don't. Chet, you are going to take 3.
Woof.
Is that from my pool?
Yeah, it's from your pool.
A man goes up in front of the podium that is sat in front, classic church layout, and he begins to speak. Settle down, everybody. We come back to our service now, and we welcome a couple of new people to the faithful, the fear-knowing. Those who are smart shall not stray the path. Those who are foolish shall not fear that is which worth the fear itself. And people nod in agreement, more of the mumbling as it gets louder and louder, that mumbling, that nervous energy. And he starts launching off into a sermon. But his vision, he has acknowledged you two, but he's looking out over everything. He's preaching, he's shouting, he's screaming about fear and what to fear.
I don't fear no haints.
There you go.
Perfect. Yes, you would recognize this as potentially a haunting of some kind. But you guys are freely able to move now.
I would like to try and stealthily make my way over to the window where that tapping was.
Okay. I'm just going to go ahead and say that you could do it. This guy's perception is terrible.
Gotcha.
And you make your way over and you look outside and you see something low to the ground. You think it was brown, maybe it was gray. Scurry past. And it was about maybe 2.5 feet long. Something like that. It was like long, noodle-like body. And it darts past.
Okay, is the window open? Can I, sneak out through the window?
Is sealed shut. And if you try and break it, you will find that you cannot.
I wouldn't try that. I feel like that would draw too much attention. I'm going to slide back into the pew with Chet. All right, we got to try and make our way out of here. This is some ghostly energy going on here.
Well, you know about ghosts, right?
Yeah, I know a bit, but I don't know if I know enough to get rid of them all.
Oh. Well, that is disappointing.
Mostly I can just ask some questions, and usually they help me out in that way, but I don't know if I can do much more than that.
Can you call, a new ghost in here that can fight the ghosts in a ghost fight for us?
I can only ask for one at a time, man. I'm not that strong in the ghosts.
Ghost combat. They only put one up, we put one up, and we see who wins.
Chet, your optimism is delightful, but it's not going to get us out of this situation, I don't think.
Yeah, I didn't think so either.
Is the back door closed after the preacher walked in?
The back door closed behind him. You also would have the perception to see that when that door opened, you could not see outside.
Okay.
Are there any extra books, in the pews?
Yes. Within the pews, every once in a while is a Bible tucked away for people to view.
Okay, they're just reading regular Bibles. It's not a weird specific cult
regular
Bible.
Bibles. If you were to open one up, you would see that many of them are highlighted and annotated, and oftentimes highlighting passages that are about fear.
Classic church.
Chet, you have a delightful special ability that might be great to activate here, called sudden vision.
Oh. I would love to use sudden vision.
Mm-hmm. Would you tell us what it does?
Yeah. A flash of insight provides you with a clear answer or suggests a course of action with regard to an urgent question, problem, or obstacle you're facing.
Haunts are created because something bad happened, usually, and those spirits are often restless. Chet, I think what happens is you are talking with Elmer when the entire church is burning and flames lick against the walls, and then it's a sunny day and the light is shining through, and you see the people around you cheering and dancing, and that preacher is sat down in his chair, eyes cast downward. The room flashes back to that flame-filled place, and you see the people stuck in their pews, and that preacher is standing above them, screaming at them once again. Chet, what do you get from that?
This preacher's bad news, number one. Two, I think Chet would want to look around the current room and look for burn marks.
You don't see any burn marks. The church is old, but fairly pristine and well kept.
Elmer, this haunt happened because that guy burned down the church with everyone inside. I think we're in a fake church in our minds.
I don't know if I'd go exactly that far, Chet, but it's definitely a spiritual apparition for sure.
Chet, you get the feeling that you need to dissuade people's fears here. And if you can dissuade enough people's fears, that preacher will not have power over those people. And therefore, they can be at rest finally.
So we're stuck here because these ghosts fear that mean ghost. So we just gotta make them believe in themselves again.
Sky, can you repeat the chant that they were saying over and over again?
They were chanting a bunch of different things. That was more just a taste of what one of them was mumbling, but I can say it to you again. It shall shine and show the way. Fear that which is unknown, fear that which is buried deep. Show us the way, show us the way. But they're mumbling all sorts of things.
I think with Chet bringing that up to Elmer, he is going to stand up now that he is no longer stuck to the pew. And he is going to say, you know, it's interesting that we keep talking about fear and things that go wrong and things that go bump in the night. And I know that there are many things out there that go bump in the night. But not all of those things are things that will hurt you. Not everything is something that will harm you. And these things like you and me, these things are sometimes just misunderstood people. There's nothing to be afraid of here.
Amen.
With that, I am going to have everyone roll for initiative, and we will see you next week.
No! No!
Oh
Come on, man!
Hey,
my God.
time for plugs, everybody!
You sneaky son of a bitch.
Oh, God.
All right. Yeah, so hopefully next time we'll get a lovely taste of some alternative combat and some actual combat. Anywho, popcorn style, why don't we have Nate start us off?
Hey, what's up, internet? I'm Nate. I'm trapped in a ghost church. I don't know what to do.
You know, as one does.
But when I'm not trapped in ghost churches, you can find me on Escape the Dungeon podcast or Starcrawl RPG on Twitch, playing lots of different games and having fun.
Amazing.
Popcorn Casey.
Yeah, you can check out my personal socials at Casey_Reardon. Also, we have new hench merch out on our website, so check that stuff out. Also, next month, we should be having another live show in June. We haven't picked the day as of recording this yet, but we have a location. We will give you that information when it's available to us, and maybe I'll substitute out this plug if I have that information by the time this episode actually comes out. But great stuff to look forward to here at the Jester's Court. So check out our website for those great new merch things. A lot of it was designed by Seth. I just kind of compiled stuff from the amazing Dr. Wrath logo that they put together. So super cool stuff there. I'm going to go ahead and popcorn to Andrew.
You like listening to the show? Why not listen to more things that we say that aren't publicly available?
What?
Hop on Patreon and give us a follow.
RPG After Dark.
That's the recap show.
Yeah, we have a recap show that basically covers everything from Echoes of the Menagerie onward, I guess, right?
It's even before that, like towards the end of Vampire. Was when we first started our recaps.
You're right. Wow. We've been doing it for a while.
Yeah, we've been doing it for a while, actually.
That's a lot of content
it's like every
to catch
other
up
episode, if not more.
So you can listen to that. You can listen to exclusive RPG creator interviews from the systems we've played. I know we have the creator of Icons on there and the creator of
Sagas.
Oh my goodness me, Sagas. Thank you. So many plural nouns. But go give us a follow. You can see our character sheets that we've used throughout the game. If you want to just throw one of our characters into one of your games or play one of our characters. What's Leo doing right now? What's Reggie getting up to? Who knows? You be the judge.
Who knows?
And also, you might have a hand to play in things regarding future games. Ooh. That's right. You can be the king that we're jesting for. The Duke or the Duchess or the Lord. It's all in your hands. Use your power wisely. Seth.
Hi, my name is Seth Coveyou. Are you a Patreon member who listened to Session 0 and discovered 2 of the characters made in an hour-plus long session are crab meat now with little to no bearing on the story? Well, you could be entitled to financial compensation from Sky Swanson. Call the law offices of Coveyou and Cone.
I thought you were going to say sickness and Hodges.
Your free quote now.
Face is so red. Oh my god.
Incredible.
Popcorn to Sky.
Hey, are you a devious little bastard who likes killing your friends? Then you might be great at writing reviews online. Why don't you go give us some reviews and let us know your favorite character that died with a 5-star review. Popcorn to Rachel. Okay.
Thanks everyone for sticking around to the end to listen to my plugs. Yeah, so if there's stuff you want to check out about me, first and foremost, you can check out my personal social medias at Rachel Kordell and Majora's Rose on Twitch. But if you want to check me out in other places, there's a couple other places you could go. For one, over on Folk and Myth, I've guested on a couple series. You could probably check them out on the YouTube now at this point. Both Pyramid is out on YouTube and Conclave is also out on YouTube. Conclave was a really cool 3-part series that I did with your boy Big and Bleak Season. So I highly recommend you check that out over there and all of that stuff. Next Monday, I believe you should be able to catch me up on Game Master Monday playing May You Fish in Interesting Times. That releases on the 19th as of right now. But if it doesn't, you can wait a little longer. That's fine. If not, you should check it out though. It's really cool. And yeah, that's everything about me. And now I hold the power to say goodbye. Although, what is our goodbye for this? Blah blah blah. That's right. Drowning. Blah 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 blah.